What's up, guys? It's KB. Make sure you subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. Click the bell icon down below so you don't miss a single video from us. And thanks for tuning in to another video from Underground Sports Philadelphia. Now let's get into it.
Philadelphia, baby, you're going to love it. Best sports fans in the world. Actually, the worst, but that's what makes them the best.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome into episode number 655 of Underground Sports Philadelphia, presented by the city of Vineland. It's KB coming at you solo dolo to get your week started off right on this Monday morning as you guys are listening or watching this. We got a lot to dive into with the Fightins Phillies. Weird weekend series against the A's. I was there for 2 of the 3 losses. Don't put it on me. Blame it on the All-Star break. We'll talk about Ranger Suarez. We'll talk about Christopher Sanchez being named to the All-Star game and that being a Phillies record. I got another opportunity to talk to Brian Barber tonight as I'm recording this, and we will also talk about another Sixers rookie signing a contract and whatever else pops into my mind on this episode. We'll see if we can keep this one a little short and sweet as the boy has the day job in the morning, and I said, I'm going to regret not recording before our Home Run Derby stream, Moonshot Mania, 4th installment, happening Monday. Am I lagging? I don't know. Moonshot Mania, happening Monday night as our companion stream for the Home Run Derby. Myself, Stevie Mac, DJ, Patty Pitts, the crew gets back together. It's one of our favorite live stream events of the year on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/@undergroundsportsphiladelphia. Come watch the Derby with us. I'll be rooting Adem Bona to victory. You should be doing the same. Come join us for Moonshot Mania Volume 4 at 8 Eastern, only on the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. But make sure you guys are following us on all the socials at Underground PHI, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Threads, Facebook.com/UndergroundSportsPHI, Twitch.tv/UndergroundSportsPHI. You can follow me on Twitter at KBIZZL311 and KBIZZLE11 on Instagram and Threads. Subscribe to the podcast feed, Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts in audio form. Leave a 5-star review. It really does go a long way for helping the show continue to grow, helps more people find Underground Sports Philadelphia, and allows us to do more dope stuff with and for you guys. Keep on subscribing. I really want to see the Spotify numbies go through the roof. If you're not subscribed on Spotify, please, please, please hit that follow button over there. And, of course, subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel, youtube.com/@undergroundsportsphiladelphia. That is where you get full video episodes of this show twice a week, full video episodes of every show on our network, clips, shorts, live streams, original video content. It's all on our YouTube channel. That's where Moonshot Mania will be going down. That's where our trade deadline live stream will be going down. That is where a plethora of content will be going down over the next couple of days, weeks, months, and forever. We are currently at 815 subscribers. Let's get cooking. Let's get the subscribers going up to get to 900 before the end of the month. Let's make that happen. youtube.com/@undergroundsportsphiladelphia. Smash that like button. Ring the bell icon. Leave a comment down below. Your thoughts on everything I discuss on the episode tonight. And, of course, guys, this show is presented by the city of Vineland, my hometown. And the City of Vineland Municipal Calendar features city-organized, city-sponsored, and city-affiliated events that are of public interest. The calendar, which is accessible at vinelandcity.org, is a good way for residents and visitors to build awareness, remain engaged with city government, and participate in local events. You can also follow the City of Vineland on social media via their Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and YouTube pages. And through these tools, you can stay connected to the community and get important announcements about programs and services offered by the city. Vineland, New Jersey, where it's always growing season. And big thank you to Security 21 Security Systems and Paul J. Gillespie Incorporated for their continued support of this podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it is the All-Star break. The Philadelphia Phillies head into the All-Star break with the best record in baseball. They have the most wins in baseball. No other team will go into this All-Star break here in 2024 with 60 or more wins other than our Philadelphia Phillies. And it is all brought to you by our pals over at FOCO, the leading distributor in forever collectibles that are officially licensed through Major League Baseball, the NFL, NBA, NHL, college basketball, college football, WWE, you name it, they've got it. FOCO, they are truly the best. They're one-of-a-kind bobbleheads that our good friend Brooke Destra just delivered one to Aaron Nola that he saw in a video on her desk and said, of course I'm going to give it to Aaron Nola. Just an unbelievable story. That bobblehead that you saw in Brooke's video is from FOCO. My overalls that you've seen me wearing at Citizens Bank Park, those are from FOCO. They've got these new neon signs that we need them to get Philadelphia Phillies and Philadelphia Eagles ones in for, are amazing, and they're through FOCO. I got to get my short talls on because it has been hotter than a mofo at Citizens Bank Park this summer, and I got to be repping my pals over at FOCO while I don't sweat my behind off because FOCO is the best. Guys, click that link in the description. Check out everything FOCO has to offer, and when you click that link, you're not only supporting us, but you're supporting an awesome partner of ours with FOCO, so definitely check everything out. The link is in the description. And shout out to FOCO for sponsoring the pod. The Philadelphia Phillies, they sweep the Dodgers, and they lose 2 out of 3 to the Oakland A's at home. They lose Sunday 18-3. It was a wild time at Citizens Bank Park. Here's the thing, guys. It's going to be fine. They're going into the break. It's you had a bullpen game going. It felt like the batters were kind of just like trying to go through the motions and get this game done. Not saying that was the case, but that's kind of what it felt like. And it just didn't happen today. And that's baseball. And I saw so many people on Twitter complaining about sitting in the heat and paying to watch the Phillies lose. You chose to go to the game. You could have looked at the forecast and said, oh, it's going to be really, really hot today. I'm not going to go. You made the executive decision to go to Citizens Bank Park, as anyone should. We should be selling out CBP all season long with how fantastic this team is. And people throwing little bitch fits about a game that was already kind of a white flag in and of itself, where they were throwing a bullpen game. They were light-handed in bullpen availability to begin with, and it's the day before the All-Star break. It's not that big of a deal. I'm so sick and tired of people treating baseball like it's the NFL. Every game is important for sure, but not every game is do or die, a must-win, need to win it. The Phillies are fucking 8.5 games up in the division going into the All-Star break. When's the last time that's happened? I couldn't tell you. I don't even know if that happened in 2011. The Phillies are going into the break at 62-34. That's 28 games over 500. Cut me a break. They're 37-16 at home. This is the first series loss they've had at home since April 1st to the 3rd. They lost the first 2 series at home and went 10-0-4 before this series. Cut me a fucking break. If you don't want to go sit in the heat, watch the game at home. I digress. Phillies, it was unfortunate. Shit happens. But they go into the break with the best record in baseball. Brent Rooker put on one hell of a display to boost his potential tradability to the Phillies. He hit 2 450-plus home runs today that were just absolute tank shots. And, now we go into the All-Star break with kind of it's now time for Dave Dombrowski to put his thinking cap on and saying, okay, what do we got to do to make this team better? My official updated wish list heading into the trade deadline. still remains Luis Robert Jr., number one. Even though Ken Rosenthal put that article out there, we've heard conflicting reports that the Phillies are going to go all in on somebody. Allegedly, according to Bob Nightingale, they have zero interest in Jazz Chisholm Jr., which is unfortunate because I think Jazz is a very good player. I think he would fit in well here, and you could play him more in the infield and get a better utilization out of his skill sets by letting him be an infielder and an outfielder. But it is unfortunate. I digress. You need to get one of the big power bats that are available, whether it's Brent Rooker, Luis Robert Jr., Lane Thomas, somebody. You need to add a right-handed power bat to this lineup desperately. Christian Pache's not cutting it. You need somebody, if you're not going to play Brandon Marsh every day, to platoon with him. Because this lineup, without JT Realmuto in it, really has a giant gap in terms of the length of the lineup. Like, sure, you have Schwarber, Trey, Bryce, Bohm. And then, right now, without JT, you're kind of forced to put one of Brandon Marsh or Bryson Stott in the 5-hole. If they're not playing, it's Edmundo Sosa, or Nick Castellanos in the 5-hole. Then Nick's in the 6-hole if Stott or Marsh are playing. Then it's Marsh, Garrett Stubbs, Johan Rojas. Once you get JT back, it lengthens your lineup so much because then you put JT in the 5-hole. 6-hole becomes one of Stott, Marsh, Nicky C, and you play with those from the 6 to the 8-hole, and then Johan Rojas is your 9-hole hitter. Do you see how much that lengthens the lineup? And then that doesn't even bring into a factor of adding Brent Rooker into this lineup, adding Luis Robert Jr. into this lineup, adding a Lane Thomas into this lineup. There's so much versatility that can go on with the lineup once you add JT back into the mix and a trade deadline piece. That's going to make this lineup so unbelievably potent that I can't wait for it to happen. So on top of the big right-handed bat that you desperately need to add, you need to get another bullpen pitcher because Sir Anthony Dominguez, I don't know if he's going to be on the postseason roster. Jose Ruiz, gots to go. And I mean, you obviously have your four horsemen in Jose Alvarado, Matt Strahm, Orion Kerkering, and Jeff Hoffman. Michael Mercado kind of proved today that he has a lot to work on at the minor league level before I think he's ready to come back up, and I do think he projects more long-term as a reliever, so I think you need to allow him to go down and figure out, some stuff. I think he has some it factors that can work at the major league level. I think just the situation he was kind of thrust into this was kind of rushed. The adrenaline has been there for him, and it just ended up being too much in the end. I do think he's a valuable piece to this franchise, and he's only 25 years old, so there's still plenty of time for him to kind of figure some things out at AAA before he comes back up and is a part of this team potentially. Tyler Phillips, what a debut. My brand was on full display on Saturday afternoon at Citizens Bank Park. A kid from South Jersey gets the start at Citizens Bank Park in a Phillies uniform, gets the win, gets a standing ovation as he exits the game, was unbelievable. And I was so impressed with his bullpen outing against the Braves, and then he comes in as a starter, and he goes, I think, 6 innings, if I'm not mistaken, as the Phillies win 11-5. Yeah, he goes 6 innings, only gives up 4 runs, 5 strikeouts, 6 hits. A very impressive outing. Tyler Phillips is going to stay in the rotation according to Rob Thompson, which is exciting for him and exciting, I think, for us to just get another look at a younger guy who nobody knew who Tyler Phillips was coming into this season. He's only 26 years old. I think that's an exciting thing to know that this team can just pull from the depths of the minor league system right now, where in years past this team was unable to do that. Like there was no shot even in 2021 that this team was pulling a Tyler Phillips from the minor league system and it was working. It's a credit to Brian Barber. It's a credit to the player development system. It's a credit to Caleb Cotham at the major league level to have these guys just ready to go and knowing that we can trust an unknown commodity in Tyler Phillips to come in and start a game and go 6 innings and get you a win at home in front of his hometown crowd. That was a super special game, and I just kudos to Tyler Phillips and a tip of the cap to him. But the Phillies do need to go and get a bullpen pitcher at this deadline. There's going to be a number of them out there. I would love to see them kind of, go upper echelon and get somebody to make that back into the bullpen a 5-headed Cerberus. Who's going to want to mess around with a bullpen like that? And then our guy Jack Fritz tweeted today, since June 1st, Gregory Soto's got a 1.17 ERA. He's been pitching very well. I've been very impressed. Normally, he's one of those guys you kind of clench and tense up, and you're not sure what you're going to get from him. He's been very impressive as of late, so I'm excited to see how he continues to progress in the second half and becomes a valuable piece of this bullpen, but the Phillies certainly need to go and get another bullpen pitcher. And honestly, I feel like they need to go and get a long man as well. Spencer Turnbull's going to be out probably until at least August. Jose Ruiz is not going to cut it down the stretch. You need somebody that is going to be a part of this bullpen, not only in August and September, but potentially a long man that you don't know the situation with Spencer Turnbull. You need to be ready for any situation with the type of team that this is right now. I would love for them to go get a long man. Still remains on my bingo card that Zach Eflin fits that bill when the postseason rolls around, and it gives you a 5th starter as well. So we'll see what happens there. They also need to go get a utility infielder because outside of Edmundo Sosa, they have nobody. Because since we've last spoken, everyone, Whit Merrifield's been released. Whit, I'm bummed it didn't work out. The fit felt like it was right at the time of the signing, and it never played itself out. It's a bummer. The Phillies are 1-2 in the post-Whit Merrifield era, so was he the glue guy? ? 888-729. It's a bummer that didn't work out, but at least the Phillies kind of recognized it now, and let's clear up another spot. Sure, Weston Wilson's up now, but let's clear up another roster spot that we can go and utilize at the trade deadline and get somebody else on this roster that's of value that can really contribute off the bench for us in a capacity that we feel is valuable. But, going into the break where Christopher Sanchez is now an all-star, he replaces Chris Sale. The Phillies have tied a National League record with 8 All-Stars. It is the tie for the most ever by a National League team. It'll be Bryce Harper, Zach Wheeler, who won't pitch, Ranger Suarez, who will not pitch and won't be there due to back spasms. He has since been replaced by Max Fried, but Ranger still gets the nod as being an all-star. Christopher Sanchez, Matt Strahm, Jeff Hoffman, Alec Boehm, Trey Turner. 8 all-stars. This is why it's such a cool thing, and you shouldn't be bitching about a loss in July. This team is about to send 7 players, 8 total get credited for it. Ranger won't be traveling, but 7 players will be going to Arlington to be part of this all-star experience. They're going to get to spend time together. The value that brings and the value that adds. I was just in a post-game press conference for the Premier Lacrosse League All-Star game. And the New York Atlas sent 9 players. I asked Sander Dixon, who plays for that team, how valuable is it to have so many guys here? And he and Marcus Holman both said, like, the All-Star game is another week to keep your stick in your hand. It keeps you fresh. And I feel like for baseball, it's a little different, obviously, because they're with each other every single day. But this is more time that these guys are going to get to spend together and bond and be, part of something special and part of Phillies history and part of baseball history. So it's really, really cool. I'm excited for Christopher Sanchez. He completely deserves it. Like, what a season he has had. To go from kind of an unknown almost, coming into his first full season starting, to having a complete game shutout, to pitching to a sub-3 ERA in the first half, to being a top 10 candidate in the Cy Young voting according to multiple sports books, to now being named an All-Star as a 27-year-old, and that doesn't even include he got a 4-year extension already earlier this season. To do that as a 27-year-old and just blow expectations for yourself out of the water is so cool to watch. And Christopher Sanchez is a guy that the Tampa Bay Rays kind of gave up on. And, they had to do what they had to do, and they traded him to the Phillies, and the Phillies found out what worked for Christopher Sanchez, and now he's an all-star. He's going to be a valuable piece to this rotation for the next half decade at least. And it's just super cool that he's being honored and recognized for his accomplishments so far this season. I couldn't be happier for Christopher Sanchez. He deserves it so much. He works so hard and has learned so much from Ranger Suarez, has learned so much from Aaron Nola and Zach Wheeler. And it's just a really cool moment for the Phillies as a team this year to see somebody work so hard and get recognized for it. So congratulations to Christopher Sanchez for sure. But I'm excited for the second half of the season because, there's going to be additions to this team. There's going to be, lots of stuff to just look forward to. And, coming out of the break, the Phillies schedule is not easy. They have a tough go at it the rest of July. They play the red-hot Pittsburgh Pirates, the Minnesota Twins, who are very much in the mix for the playoffs, the first-place Cleveland Guardians. It's going to be me versus Guru Gab. Shout out to Gab. We'll have to get her on for that series for sure. And then the Yankees come to town for a 3-game set before the Phillies go out west to kick off August against the Mariners, against the Dodgers, against the Diamondbacks. And then you come home to play the Marlins. You come home to play the Nationals. And then you go to the Braves, to the Royals, and then home to play the Astros, and then home to play the Braves. It's a tough go the rest of the summer. And then going into September, it gets a little bit more manageable, but by no stretch of the imagination is this going to be an easy second half of the season for the Phillies, and it's good that they have done what they've been able to do by banking all of these wins early and setting a tone and a precedent for themselves for the second half to say, hey, we can't let off the gas pedal. We may have an 8.5 game lead in the division. We may have, given ourselves this cushion here with the most wins in baseball, but we want to keep that pushing. We want to keep that going forward. And I think they will. I think they'll reassess, what worked for them in the first half, what didn't work, and how they can adjust. And I think it's going to be a very fun and enjoyable second half of the season of Phillies baseball that we're going to get the opportunity to watch. And it's going to be very exciting to see who gets added to this team, for sure. And speaking of getting added to this team, the first and second rounds of the MLB draft happened tonight, and the Phillies added 2 high school outfielders into the mix, and I got the opportunity to speak with Brian Barber tonight on a press conference, which was awesome. I always appreciate and, love the opportunity to speak to anybody from the Phillies organization. Hey everyone, it's KB, and I am beyond excited to bring you this breaking news about a new project here at Underground Sports Philadelphia. Introducing Light the Flame, an Olympics podcast where all of your favorite Underground Sports Philadelphia personalities will come together to discuss, banter, and break down the Olympic Games. Coming soon wherever you get your podcasts and on our YouTube channel throughout the 2024 Olympics and beyond. Dante Norrie and Griffin Burkholder. Norrie was picked with pick number 27 in the first round. Burkholder, number 63 in round 2. Both draft picks have speed elements to their game, plus speed. Definitely have a lot of tools in their bag. They're going to be, very easy to develop. The biggest thing I took away was Brian Barber doesn't think there's going to be any issue with either of these guys signing with the Phillies. It's going to obviously take a little bit for them to just sign the dotted line and go through everything, but doesn't feel like there's going to be any issues with either of them signing with the team, which is good. So he fully expects both of them to be Philadelphia Phillies in the near future. And, this kind of just trends with what the Phillies have been able to do over the past 5 seasons now, including this draft, and is go after high school talent and allow their player development system to let these guys develop with the Phillies organization, not rush them to the big leagues, and take their time with learning what is valuable about them, what they bring to the table. And I think that's a smart tactic for the way that the big league club is constructed right now. So welcome to Philadelphia, Dante Norrie. He did acknowledge our tweet, so he knows that Underground Sports Philadelphia exists. Dante, you're welcome on the show anytime you want, brother. And congrats to Griffin Burkholder as well. The other things that I take away from the draft picks here is, they're just adding inventory for the next couple of years. And when you have guys like this that get put into the system, you're allowing yourselves to make some other prospects expendable in trade deadlines and trades down the line, not just this year, but moving forward. And you can kind of feel okay with allowing yourself to move on from some prospects that may have been higher up on the board in years past, but now have kind of fallen, and you can feel comfortable moving on from them. And that's kind of what these two guys scream to me, is that these are going to be players that get developed a little bit, and then a couple years' time, you figure out, okay, who can we move on from now because we have these two guys in the fold? Or is it these two guys that get moved? And you never know. That's the beauty of baseball. But welcome to Philadelphia, Dante Norrie and Griffin Burkholder. All-Star Game is this coming week, and I have some very exciting news. Not only do we have Moonshot Mania going down on Monday, not only do we have the All-Star Game to root on our Philadelphia Phillies in on Tuesday, but they did officially announce it tonight, so I can share it with you guys here on the pod. Your boy, yours truly, will be guest hosting on Wednesday morning, 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern Time, the PHLY Phillies show with my good friend Renee Washington, and it's very cool to reconnect with her. When Renee worked at the NLL, I was asked to go do a show at NLL HQ with her and Devin Caney, and now I will be guest hosting on Wednesday morning the PHLY Phillies show the day after the All-Star Game. So we'll have some awesome stuff to talk about there. I'm super excited for the opportunity. My guy Jamie Lynch is on vacation, so Jamie, I'll hold it down for you the best I can, my man. I can never fill your seat over on that show, but I'm very excited to hop on. I'll be in studio with them for the entire hour, so definitely tune in if you guys have the opportunity to. It'll be on YouTube, on their YouTube channel, youtube.com/@PHLY_sports. And it'll be available on podcast apps as well. I'm pumped, and when I got the news, I shared it with some people in my close inner circle, and it was really cool to just see the excitement from my people and people that have been rooting for me and this company for such a long time, and everybody that I sent it to that works here. Super pumped that, I'm going on another major platform to help just spread the word about me and our brand, and be a part of a really cool and up and coming network in PHLY, who have been around for about a year now. And get a chance to sit down with somebody like Renee Washington, who is unbelievably talented in everything that she does, and to reconnect with her. She's been an awesome supporter of everything that I've done since we've met, and she is wildly talented, and I'm excited to be able to sit down and just talk Phils with somebody for an hour and just enjoy it, and we'll see, what there will be to talk about from the All-Star game and everything. But definitely tune into PHLY Phillies on Wednesday morning, 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern Time, over on the PHLY YouTube channel, because your boy is going to be in studio guest hosting, which is just an awesome thing. It's one of those things that, as an independent media company, a lot of people don't really give me or any of us here at Underground Sports those opportunities to hop on another show, hop on another platform. There's been moments here and there, like I mentioned, when I got to go to the NLL back in 2019. There's been a few podcasts in the lacrosse world that we've been able to hop on, myself and DJ, and it's cool to get those opportunities and get your name out there, and let people see your face and let them know that, hey, I'm covering Philly sports here too, and I'm covering this topic here too. And it's one of those things that I really I don't take for granted. It's such a cool opportunity, and hopefully this allows another chance for me to hop on and be a part of another show down the line with PHLY, to guest host or be a guest on, and maybe other networks will take a look and allow your boy to get his name out there and be a guest on their shows as well. This show's not going anywhere, by the way. Underground Sports Philadelphia is not going anywhere, I'll tell you that much. But I'm super pumped for the opportunity, so definitely tune in, PHLY_sports on YouTube on Wednesday morning, 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern Time. I'll be on for the full hour with Renee Washington hosting the PHLY Phillies show. The other things to break down here. So, before I do, make sure you guys get your merch from our awesome merch partners at PHI Apparel Company, the best merch in the game, from shirts to hoodies, you name it, they've got it. If you want to stand out in the crowd all year long, go to phiapparel.co and use code UNDERGROUND for 10% off your merch orders. Most effective and direct way to support everything we're doing here at Underground Sports Philadelphia. So go get your merch, phiapparel.co, and use code UNDERGROUND for 10% off your order. Like I mentioned, we got our Home Run Derby stream going on Monday night. Moonshot Mania Volume 4 is yours truly roots on Alec Boehm to win the damn thing. And Tuesday, we've got our Fightins Phils in the All-Star game. Wednesday, I'll be on PHLY Phillies. We'll have our show here. Thursday, what is happening on Thursday? I don't even know. A bunch of podcasts will be coming out. And then I'll be in Connecticut this weekend for the PLL, for Throwback Weekend out there in Fairfield. Water Dogs will be back in action, coming off their All-Star break. Hopefully a hot start to the second half as Matt Witcher, Ben Randall, and Coach Tierney and Coach Sheridan were on the winning side of things in the All-Star game as the East beat the West 15-12. And shout out to Rylan Reese, big Philly guy. Even though he's Canadian, he's a Philly guy. Followed the main Twitter, so shout out to Rylan for supporting us even more. He's been a longtime follower of Outside the Box, but shout out to him for following the main account. yeah, I mean, it was really cool. Like, to circle back to Brian Barber, it was really cool to be in a press conference again with the Phillies. And again, it's something I don't take for granted whatsoever, and it's such a cool opportunity that I've been given, and I take full advantage of those opportunities, and really hoping to just keep delivering some of the best Phillies content possible to you guys, and giving you another avenue of content from your traditional, schedule of Phillies and Philly sports content from yours truly. But last bit here, Adem Bona, new Sixers big man that they drafted this year, signed a 4-year, about $8 million contract. So that's big time for the Sixers to have him under contract now, and a cost-affordable and cost-efficient contract for the next 4 years. And Summer League's been off to a rousing start for the Sixers. And trying to think if anything else of note needs to be discussed here. I know it's been kind of a short episode. Oh, you know what we'll do? We'll give you guys the underground stats and info, brought to you by me. I don't know why I forgot about this. Oh, I know why. Because that short break you saw in between here, breaking the fourth wall, the stomach was a little messed up. So, going through your run differentials at the halfway point. We'll start in the NL East with your Philadelphia Phillies at 62-34. Have scored 477 runs, only given up 367. That's good for a plus 110 run differential. The Atlanta Braves at 53-42 have a plus 65 run differential. The New York Mets at 49-46 have a plus 13 run differential. The Washington Nationals at 44-53, that stolen franchise, they are at a negative 38 run differential. And the ever so weird Miami Marlins have given up 488 runs this year and have a negative 152 run differential, which is the second worst, not by much, but second worst in the National League. The Brewers are in first place in the NL Central at the break. They're at plus 79. The Cardinals are 4 games over 500, but have a negative 38 run differential. The Pittsburgh Pirates are at 500 and have a negative 9 run differential. The Cincinnati Reds are 47-50 and have a plus 38 run differential. And the Chicago Cubs at 47-51 have a negative 5 run differential. The Dodgers at 56-41 have a plus 88 run differential. They've scored 479, so just 2 more than the Phillies. The Arizona Diamondbacks are a game over 500, have a plus 17 run differential. The Padres, also a game over 500, have a plus 12 run differential. The Giants at 47-50 have a negative 27 run differential. And then the Colorado Rockies at the break, 572 runs surrendered at the break and have a negative 169 run differential, the worst in the National League. Then we go to the American League. The Orioles in first place with a plus 80 run differential. The Yankees in second place in that AL East, even in the win column with the Orioles, but 2 back in the loss column. They have a plus 106 run differential, the only other team in baseball with a plus 100 or more run differential. The Boston Red Sox at 53-42 have a plus 44 run differential. The Tampa Bay Rays are even Steven at 48-48, but have a negative 63 run differential. And the Toronto Blue Jays at 44-52 have a negative 66 run differential. The Cleveland Guardians have a plus 85 run differential. The Minnesota Twins, who the Phillies will see both the Guardians and Twins in the second half of the July. The Twins with a plus 47 run differential. The Royals with a plus 60 run differential. The Tigers at negative 7. And the 27-71 Chicago White Sox with a negative 177 run differential. It's the worst in baseball. They've scored the fewest runs in baseball at 313. It's terrible. 27 wins, guys. Put that in perspective. Remember that when you're bitching and moaning about the Phillies. Then the AL West, the Mariners at 52-46 have a plus 19 run differential. The Astros at 50-46 have a plus 49 run differential. The Rangers at 46-50 with a plus 9 run differential. The Angels 41-55 with a minus 87 run differential. And the Oakland A's helped themselves out today and this weekend. They're 37-61, but they have a negative 83 run differential. And those are your run differentials going into the All-Star break in Major League Baseball. And then we'll take a look at the Platinum Plunk Award to round things out here for you heading into a good old week. So we pull this up here. Your team leader at the All-Star break in hit by pitches are the Minnesota Twins at 68. In second place, the Cleveland Guardians with 61. The Seattle Mariners with 58. The Cincinnati Reds with 55. And then the Cubs and Nationals tied for fifth place with 52. Your leading batter, your leading batter at the break is Texas Rangers Josh Smith with 15 hit by pitches, Will Castro with 14, Tyler Freeman, Ryan Jeffers with 13, and Andres Jimenez still in the top 5 with 12. And your Philadelphia Phillies with the most hit by pitches so far as we head into the All-Star break. As I scroll on down here, scroll on down the road. Here we go. Hit by pitches. Your Philadelphia Phillies, Garrett Stubbs and Rafael Marchand have been hit by 1. Whit Merrifield will end his Phillies tenure with 2. Bryson Stott, Kyle Schwarber, Johan Rojas, JT Realmuto, and Nick Castellanos have all been hit by 3. Trey Turner, Alec Boehm with 5. And Edmundo Sosa, your All-Star break leader for the Philadelphia Phillies in hit by pitches with 6. And those are your underground stats and info brought to you by FOCO. Trying to think if there's anything else of note other than Adem Bona signing that contract there. Light the Flame, an Olympics podcast. You guys will have heard the promo for it. It's on social media now. We've made social accounts for our Olympics coverage. So definitely follow them. On Twitter, it is at LTF Olympics. And on Instagram and Threads, it's at Light the Flame Pod, I believe. Light the Flame Pod. I'll tell you right now. Yes, Light the Flame Pod on Instagram and Threads. We are going to be super calculated with everything we're doing Olympics-wise. And I can tell you, July 26th, we will be live on YouTube for a just watch-along and reaction to opening ceremonies of the Olympic Games. We will also be doing a live stream for closing ceremonies of the Olympic Games. We'll have select live streams for medal events, and we'll be podcasting all throughout the Olympics on the Light the Flame feed, so go and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts to Light the Flame, an Olympics podcast presented by Underground Sports Philadelphia, and an exciting announcement about that pod early this week for sure. Enjoy the All-Star break, guys. Nice little relaxation period. Everybody can kind of reset, retool, regroup. It's going to be a good time. Tune into Moonshot Mania, our home run derby companion stream, Monday night, 8 p.m. Eastern time on our YouTube channel. Follow us on the socials at Underground PHI, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Threads, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitch, all that good stuff. Follow us everywhere. Subscribe to the podcast feed, Apple and Spotify. Subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel, youtube.com/@Underground Sports Philadelphia. Get us to 900 subscribers. Let's make that happen. And of course, get your merch, phiapparel.co, code underground, 10% off your order. And this show is presented by the City of Vineland. And whether you're a company looking to expand, relocate, or you're a new business startup, selecting the right location is critical to your success. Vineland, New Jersey offers both an affordable business location and an excellent quality of life. The city's economic development department is a one-stop source for moving your project through the development and approval process. And their goal is to make this process as smooth as possible and to provide the fastest turnaround times in the region. If you're considering potential locations for your operation, contact the Vineland Economic Development Team at 856-794-4100. That's 856-794-4100. Vineland, New Jersey, where it's always growing season. And big thank you to Security 21 Security Systems and Paul J. Gillespie Incorporated for their continued support of this podcast. This has been episode number 655 of Underground Sports Philadelphia. I'm your boy KB. I will see you Wednesday morning on the PHLY Phillies show with Renee Washington, and then I will be here to recap everything Philly sports on our network, and I'll see you Monday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, on our YouTube channel for Moonshot Mania, Home Run Derby watch stream. Come join us. It's going to be a ton of fun. But until I see you when I see you, I'm getting the heck up out of here, and I'm signing off. Peace.